Hello and welcome to your summer accounting classes. I'm actually making this welcome video for the distance version of BA 211, Principles of Accounting 1, and also for Accounting 501, Foundations of Accounting. The vast majority of 211 and Accounting 501, at least for the first half of Accounting 501, will be identical. So this welcome video will work for both. You'll see, as you see in this screen view right now, I'm working off of the syllabus in the 211 class, but other than the class numbers, the syllabus is pretty much identical for Foundations of Accounting, so you can follow along in that one as well. My name is Professor Momfeld, and I just want to walk through some of the components of the class. Make sure you understand what is expected of you, make sure you understand how you can be successful, and just get off on the right foot here. So I'll briefly look at the syllabus. The syllabus is also posted in Canvas, and I'll show you where that is as well on there. But you can take a look at it. This is my office number, HHH 132. Office hours by appointment. I should be around most of the summer. I don't have any long-term travel plans this summer, so if you need something and you need to meet face-to-face, shoot me an email, or this is my cell phone here, text, call, whatever, and just see if I can set something up. More than likely I can come in and meet with you if you have any issues or questions or anything like that. My office number is here as well. I don't plan on spending too much time in the office this summer, other than when I'm meeting someone specifically, so unlikely that you'll find me there, but there you have it just in case. So this is the basic course description, introduction to the fundamentals of accounting, the basic language of business, journals, ledgers, adjusting entries, and closing entries are introduced and utilized in building the financial and operating statements of sole proprietorships. And we'll also talk about the financial statements of corporations a little bit, and other business entities. And then if you're in 501, we'll continue on to what would be the Principles of Accounting 2 class and cover material in that class as well, which basically finishes up with this material and also talks about some managerial accounting topics. So, basic purpose of the course is to give anyone who may not be majoring in accounting or specializing in accounting the bare minimum that you would need to be a successful business person when dealing with finances and accounting concepts. Okay, so this is to help you not be taken advantage of in the business world because of your lack of financial understanding or knowledge of accounting concepts. So hopefully by the end of the course, you'll be familiar with basic accounting terminology, be conversant with basic financial statements, meaning I don't really expect you to be able to generate all of the financial statements as an accountant would, but I do expect you to be able to look at them, know what they're telling you. That way, if you have employees or someone you're working with that wants to show you something on a financial statement, you'll have a better understanding of what it is and why it's important. Be able to apply basic accounting logic and understand the purposes of it, and understand the vital role of accounting in all aspects of business. You may have heard, and if you haven't, I will probably say it more than once during this course, accounting is the language of business. So obviously, to be able to talk business, you have to have at least a basic understanding of accounting. Doesn't mean you have to be an accountant, just means you have to be somewhat fluent in the language of accounting. So the required text I have down here, some of you have emailed about this already and I've given you this information. Horngren's Accounting 10th edition, that is the book that I kind of teach out of. It's pretty close to identical to the 11th edition, which is the current edition. That's the edition the bookstore has because Pearson has stopped supporting the 10th edition, so they can't order any more copies of that. However, the 10th edition, if you're buying it used, obviously is going to be much cheaper, so you are more than welcome to buy a used version of that. Or if you want to spend a lot of money for whatever reason and just have the newest edition out there, you can go get the 11th edition as well. The benefit of the 11th edition is it will probably come packaged with My Accounting Lab access. At least if you get it from the bookstore, it should. If you're ordering online and you're getting the newest edition, make sure that it has My Accounting Lab access, or you'll have to go and purchase that separately. And I think it costs about $70 to purchase My Accounting Lab access as a standalone feature. You will need that. Your homework and your quizzes will take place in My Accounting Lab, so if you don't have that, there's no chance you will pass the course. You must purchase that. Standard disability statement there. If you have questions about that, let me know. I'm pretty flexible in pretty much all aspects of the course, so if you need any type of accommodations for whatever reason, just let me know. Obviously, as an online course, participation just consists of doing your work. I'm not going to make it my job to go out of my way to try to find people that are cheating. Obviously, it's tough to locate cheaters when you're dealing with an online course. However, with that said, if it's so blatantly obvious that you're cheating that I have no choice but to notice it, then we will follow the standards of the honor code and take action there. Just do your own work. If you just make an effort at doing well in the class, I can pretty much guarantee you will do well in the class. The only people that ever don't do well in the class, I'm not a hard grader. I do what I can to help you out. I want everyone to get a good grade. The only people that don't do well are usually the people that just don't do any work. Don't try to do the work. So as long as you do the work and you try hard to understand the concepts, I can pretty much guarantee you'll do well. Don't be scared of this class. Okay? It is basically, if you exert the effort, you're have a really solid chance of getting an A and at least a B if you're trying hard. Professionalism, just be professional in all of your aspects of this class, whether that's posting on the discussion forum or emailing me or whatever it is that you're doing. Try to act as a business professional would. Standard grading scale, I will give A's, A minuses, B pluses, whatever. I do pluses and minuses. I will generally round it as high as I can. Like I said, I'm not in the business of trying to make you do poorly. I want you to do well. Pretty much every week we will have quizzes. That will count for 50% of your grade. We will have 2 exams, a midterm and a final. They will be equally weighted, so each one will consist of 15% of your grade. So together they make up 30% of your grade. The My Accounting Lab homework will make 20% of the grade. And as I mentioned, quizzes will also be on My Accounting Lab. So I probably should put homework in here, but this means My Accounting Lab homework, and that's 20%. For the homework, it is based on effort, so you don't have to get them all right to get 100% of the points. You just have to have tried, done your best on them. My Accounting Lab shows me how long you worked on the problems and how many you got right. So obviously if you worked for 5 seconds on the problems and got them all wrong, don't expect to get any points. But if you put in the time, and I would say you should spend no more than 45 minutes on these homework assignments. If you spend more than that, make sure it's because you just want to understand it better. I don't expect you to spend more time than that. So, I'll take that into consideration. But, if you spend, I can't give you a hard and fast cutoff of what qualifies for points and what doesn't. It's just a judgment call on my part. But, I've seen people that spend 15 minutes on it and get them all right, or even 10 minutes and get them all right. And obviously I would give you credit for that. And I've seen people that spend 45 minutes or an hour and get 50% right, and I'll give you full credit for that. Like I said, I'm trying to give you points. Make it easy for me and just do your best. Let's see, this testing policy is mainly just for in-class. I don't change the syllabus up too much, so I just left that in there. Class schedule for the summer classes, since these are accelerated classes, we'll generally cover 2 chapters per week and not skip any chapters in the book. That's the plan from the beginning. However, If people are having trouble, if I need to slow down for whatever reason, I do reserve the right to change that and go slower. I will not go faster than 2 chapters per week. So, if we get down, halfway through the semester and I need to slow down and spend another week on a chapter, or just, take 1 chapter per week for a while, whatever it is, we'll play it by ear. But right now, the schedule is 2 chapters per week. And midterm halfway through the class, I'll let you know a little bit ahead of time when that's going to be. I'll let you know probably a few weeks ahead of time. Again, that will be online. You'll have several days, probably a whole week to take that if you need it. But I'll let you know. Okay? So, you saw what the breakdown is. Quizzes weekly, homework weekly. That's 70% of your grade right there. And then 1 midterm, 1 final. Pretty basic as far as how the class will be scored. I will say, the quizzes on my accounting lab, it's kind of nitpicky. Now, I do the quizzes on there because it's more convenient for me, because they're pre-built and I just have to pick the questions I want to use. But a lot of people will look at them and they'll do really badly on them because they just barely missed something because it was really nitpicky on what it was expecting for the answer. So I will go in and look at the quizzes after you finish them, and pretty much always you will get more points in your Canvas grade for the quiz than what shows up on my accounting lab. So whether that's in the form of me curving all of the grades up for whatever reason, or if I just individually look at your quiz and see that you were really close and it was just a formatting issue, I will try again to give you as many points as I can. So if you do poorly on the quizzes, at least wait until you see me transfer the grade from my accounting lab to Canvas and see what I've changed and if your grade is improved. If it's still really bad and you're worried about it, then you can come talk to me or send me an email or whatever, okay? So don't stress if you don't do extremely well on the quizzes. The midterm and the final will be separately in Canvas, and I will manually add those. It will not be from my accounting lab. Those will probably be just multiple choice, so it will be probably a little bit more straightforward, and you probably won't get as many points added to your midterm and final. Okay? Okay, so that's it for the syllabus. So there's 2 other components I want to look at in this welcome video. One is what the Canvas site looks like. I published it a couple minutes ago, so you should be able to look at it now. In fact, if you're watching this video, I think I'm only going to put the link to that in the Canvas site, so you should already be there. Okay, so for the Canvas site, we were looking at the syllabus for 211. Now I'm looking at the Canvas site for 501. This is the first semester we're on Canvas, so I'm not positive that this is what it will look like from the student point of view. It should. This should be your home page where it shows the assignments here. And then you should have these selections on the left side. Okay, so you see the first week's worth of assignments here. All it shows is the lectures, so these are on YouTube, just a link to my YouTube channel for these particular lectures. The basic accounting lecture covers some of the material that's in both of these other lectures, just from a slightly different viewpoint. I would recommend watching all 3 of these. I think altogether it's probably an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of lecture. Alternatively, if you don't want to watch the whole thing, and you could just watch Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 lecture, those are the ones you should definitely watch. And if you don't immediately understand the material, then maybe take a look at the basic accounting lecture as well. So, read in the book. Read Chapters 1 and 2 this week. Watch the lectures. Okay? You can see here I have a due date of May 29th. The due date is because your quizzes have a due date that is this same date. So this date here corresponds with the day the quiz will be due for this chapter. Okay, and I'll show you that in my accounting lab. But that's how you'll know, okay, if you just randomly get on the website or on Canvas in a few weeks, it should pull up whatever the assignments are, and you'll see the due date is the Sunday for whatever week you're in. So May 29th is basically a week from yesterday, next Sunday at 11:59 p.m. There's no way I have of tracking the lectures, so if you choose not to watch them and just read the book, that's up to you. I just want to make as many resources available to you as possible. Okay. In addition, I will also post throughout the semester some walkthroughs of me, like a screenshot, kind of like you're watching now, but of my Excel program, Microsoft Excel, and I'll put some problems on there and walk through them so that you can see what it looks like to work through the problems in Excel. So, you know, sometimes if a student emails me and says, hey, I'm having trouble with this particular question, or I don't understand this concept, then I'll say, okay, well, let me do a walkthrough and I'll post it on the website on Canvas so that everyone can see it, and that would appear in here as well. Okay. So for the videos, those are just there as resources for you, whether that be a lecture or the video that you're watching right now, the walkthrough. So, you know, there's no scoring component to those. Those are just for your benefit. Okay, but over here, there's some other categories that are important. Under files, that's where you should be able to find the syllabus, which is what we just went over. And also right here is the student registration handout for my accounting lab. Okay, so when this downloads, shouldn't take too long, you'll see this shows you the directions on how to get signed up into my accounting lab. So if you go to this website, either this is where, following this directions is where you can enter your course code if you bought it bundled with your book. If you don't have a course code bundled with your book, this is also where you can buy standalone access. So just follow the directions that are on this form. You can see down here that, or somewhere in here where it shows right here, you should be able to get 14 days of temporary access if you need to get on there before you can, you know, if you need to wait a couple weeks to buy it or whatever, you should be able to immediately sign up and then pay for it before it expires in 2 weeks. Okay, so follow those directions. That will get you on my accounting lab under files, syllabus, and those instructions are under files. If you click on syllabus here in Canvas, that kind of just shows you a view of due dates for the assignments that are on there. Okay, so this is not your actual syllabus. This is more what I would call just a schedule of assignments. If you want the actual syllabus, you have to click on files and you can download it from there. In addition to that, you'll see here discussions. Okay, you'll notice in the syllabus there was no points assigned for these discussions. So right here you see discussion, week 1, chapters 1 and 2 discussion. Okay, so the prompt here just says post any questions that you may have on the chapters for the current week in this discussion, and then you should answer each other's questions. So if you have something you don't understand, here's what I want you to do. First thing, anything you don't understand, come on here and post your question to the discussion forum. Okay, that should be your first step always. Second step, if you want to know if for whatever reason it's a time-sensitive issue, then after you post it on here, email me or text me and say, hey, I have this question, and I will respond to you. I don't monitor the discussion forum other than to award points periodically for extra credit points for you all helping each other out. Okay, so the discussion will purely be student to student, where someone posts a question, and you know, if you haven't heard back from me soon enough, or you're not worried about getting an answer immediately, you could just post it on here, wait and see if any of your fellow classmates choose to respond to your question, and at the end of the semester, or maybe at the midterm point, I'll go through and award some extra credit points. Definitely at the end of the semester, I'll go through and look through all the discussions, and award up to 5 extra credit points on your final grade if you have helped other people by trying to answer their questions. Okay, so someone else posts a question, you get on there and answer it to the best of your ability. I will count that as, credit towards this possible 5 extra credit points. So that's a half a letter grade. So you can get up to a half a letter grade bump just by coming on here periodically and seeing if you can answer someone else's question. If there's a question posted and someone has answered it and you disagree, or you have a different way of answering it or making it more clear, feel free to post that as well. I'm basically going to come in, I'm going to look at your overall posts and how helpful you've been and what you've tried to do, and it's going to be an effort thing. Okay, so if you tried really hard to answer other people's questions, you should probably get the full 5 extra credit points. Okay, so each week we'll have a separate discussion forum. So this week will be for chapters 1 and 2. If you have questions on chapters 3 and 4, you can post that in the week 2 discussion forum, which will open at the beginning of week 2, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's it for Canvas. That's all you really need to see on there. Under the Assignments tab, which is also should be the home screen that it puts you on when you first get onto Canvas, this is where the midterm will also show up, and the final. Okay, so you'll have lectures and any video resources I want to put on there, plus midterm and final will show up here, and then discussions for each week, optional but extra credit awarded. And then on top of that, the next thing to look at is my accounting lab. Okay, so this is what my accounting lab should look like once you sign up and you get on there. This is course home and it shows upcoming assignments. I think it's easier just to click on the Assignments tab and it shows you in chronological order what the assignments are and how you've done on them. So you see here I've posted chapters 1 and 2 homework, chapters 1 and 2 quiz, chapters 3 and 4 homework, chapters 3 and 4 quiz. Okay, so for the homeworks, you see a due date. That's for your benefit, just to show you what that corresponds to. You can still do the homework after the due date. Okay, so these homeworks you can do all the way up until the end of the semester. It won't help you as much. Obviously, it helps more if you do them in the weeks that we're studying that material, but it will show me that you've done it late, but you can still get full credit for them throughout the semester. The quizzes you have to take by the deadline. So you see when it's due here, you must have submitted the quiz by 11:59 on May 29th to get credit for it. If something comes up, like I said, I'm flexible. Email me, preferably before something comes up. But if you can't email me before it comes up, email me after it comes up and we'll work something out. Okay, but do your best to get the quizzes done by the deadlines here. And obviously as the weeks go by, these will fill up more and more. Okay, so on my accounting lab, you really don't need to go anywhere else except click on the Assignments tab, and that will show you the due dates and everything that you need to do. And you'll just click on the, for instance, the homework. You click on it, and it will start walking you through these questions. Okay, so those are the nuts and bolts of the course. If you have questions after watching this video, email me. I respond to email pretty quickly most of the time. Okay, so email me. I will try to respond quickly. Don't stress. This should be a pretty stress-free class. I know people a lot of times are worried about accounting. They think it's going to be hard. I admit the concepts can be a little bit difficult sometimes, but the class itself shouldn't be that hard. I try to make it laid back, easygoing. Just do your best. You'll do well. I promise. Okay? If you have questions, let me know. If not, let me know if you want to get together in person sometime. And other than that, I wish you the best of luck, and I'll shoot you some notes now and again throughout the semester, and just stay in touch if you need anything. Okay?